Hello everybody, welcome to the first instalment of the good, the bad and the ugly from the weekend's football. I'm going to be taking a look at what's gone well for certain people, what's gone pretty bad for certain people, and what's getting ugly in the world of the Premier League and beyond. For those of you who don't know, my name is James Lawrence Alcott. This is a new channel, so if you're watching this for the very first time, do me a favour, hit subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Let me know on a Sunday who your nominations for the good, the bad and the ugly are, and I will think about putting them in. And if they're decent, then I'll definitely put them in. Nominations for the good this week, kicking off with Man City, who absolutely destroyed Chelsea. What a week for them. League Cup final, 3-0. Arsenal in the week, 3-0. That used to be a tough game. We'll get onto Arsenal and Chelsea later on in this video, but Man City are just unstoppable. Pep Guardiola has to get a huge amount of credit for putting his blueprint, putting his stamp on this Man City side. I was looking at the game yesterday and I was thinking, wow, like, how much is it down to the players and how much is it down to the system? I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Because in players like Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva, these are kind of players of once in a generation. But then you look on the other side of it, has anyone got them playing the way that Pep Guardiola has got them playing? As impressive as Man City have been over the last few years, they are devastating at the moment. And David Silva is, he's possessed. And the areas in the pitch that they continuously get the football and they're able to position the whole team to allow themselves to get the ball into those areas of space. No other team in the Premier League is able to do that with the same quality, especially against teams that are parking the bus. Well done, Man City. Second nominee for the good this week is, well, it's kind of two guys. One, Brighton and Hove Albion, unbeaten in 5, playing great football. But more importantly, I think I'm actually going to have to go for Chris Hughton. Chris Hughton has put together a squad there that is really strong. You look at the starting lineup, it was a team that had a bit of everything that a team that's going to survive in the Premier League needs when you haven't got huge names. He's getting the best out of someone like Glenn Murray, who there was a moment where he got put through on goal and you could see the lack of pace that he had, but he still is scoring goals. 7 in 9, the guy's on fire. A little bit of talk about him being in the England team. I think that's a little bit far-fetched, but he's got a knack of scoring goals, so you never know. Let me know in the comments below, Glenn Murray, if he keeps scoring at this rate, do you do a Ricky Lambert and take him on the plane to the World Cup? Back to that Brighton side and what Chris Hughton's done. He's had a really good managerial career, very quiet man, very calming man, and you've seen what he's done with that Brighton side. Great defence last season, he's kept all those players, he knew they had the quality. Now they're starting to click into gear going forward. Knockout on one side, Pascal Gross on the other side. Izquierdo, I think that's how you say his name, he was superb as well. Going forward, they've got pace going forward, they've got resolute players in Dave Propper and Dale Stephens working their bollocks off in the centre of the park. It's a good side and it's a side that's going to have no problem staying up in my opinion after a great win against Arsenal where they bullied them, to be honest. Final nomination for the good this week. Let me know in the comments below who you want to vote for. I put a poll card up there for you. You guys can decide. I've just decided that off the cuff. You know, this is a new channel we're moving things forward. You've got Chris Hughton, you've got Man City. Third up, it's got to be Troy Deeney. Troy Deeney's become this like elder statesman of Watford. He's one of the few characters in the Premier League, so you've got to like him for that. Weird thing is, he's only 29 years old. You get this feeling that he's like 34 years old, but he's not. He has the kind of confidence that you're desperate to have if you've got a striker at your club. He will always score goals because of that confidence, which is brimming at the moment. 2 winners on the trot for Watford. It's got them completely out of trouble now, and they're looking strong. 36 points, they should be fine for the end of the season. And the finish, it's weird how everyone's going crazy about this finish, but you've got to totally understand why. People can put it in the top corner like that when the pressure's on and there's other options to go round. For him to do that showed what quality he's got, and it's that word, you don't see it often, aplomb. He's taken that one with aplomb, so he's got to be in there as well. On to nominees for the bad then this week, and I'm kicking off with West Ham. 4-1 defeats in back-to-back games. And Liverpool, look, Liverpool can destroy anyone on their day. But to lose 4-1 to Swansea, a relegation rival, is poor, is very poor. And it's a confusing time for West Ham. I'd love to know, any West Ham fans, let me know in the comments below how you are feeling about your football club at the moment, because you're a few points off being in the relegation zone. My gut feeling is you've got too much quality there to go down. But it is so tight. And teams like Swansea and Brighton, they're organised. You struggle against these organised sides. I think you've got more quality than other sides, but when you have the balance between the two, where are you going to end up? David Moyes should be creating a team that is more organised. That's what he's good at. So that's got to be disappointing with the amount of goals that you're conceding at the moment. The other reason it's confusing is because of the march that was going to happen. It was supposed to happen this Saturday. That's been cancelled by the Real West Ham Fans Action Group, which is fascinating in itself. The reasons behind it seems like they've had a couple of meetings with Karen Brady and now they feel like there's a bit of progress that's going to happen. This is a difficult one for West Ham fans to get their head around. When you've gone down a road where you're so frustrated that you get to a point where you're going to tell these people that I'm going to march and I want everyone to do that with me, to then change your mind, there's got to be a reason for that. The reason for that will hopefully be because the board and the fans are now going to actually have a transparent conversation instead of the lies that have been spouted towards West Ham fans for seasons now, since the move and before the move. Need to get the results back on track. They need to stop the rot quickly, because if they go down again, that ground, 56,000 as an average attendance, despite all the difficulties with it, that's really impressive. How many are they going to sell if they go down to the Championship? Second nomination when it comes to having a bad week is Eden Hazard. Not totally down to himself. I watched the game yesterday, Man City versus Chelsea, and it was pretty woeful from Chelsea. Partly because, as I've said in a collab I did with Rory from CFC Fan TV, you can go check that video out if you're a Chelsea fan. I'll put a link in the description. Because of N'Golo Kante for me. Playing Fabregas and Drinkwater, they haven't got the same kind of legs that N'Golo Kante with one of those other guys is going to offer, and it's not going to allow them to break down the opposition, and they weren't able to do that, and it was passive. It was so passive. The second half, it was slightly embarrassing. Antonio Conte, I think he's got to hold his hands up and go, look, this wasn't working, and I should have changed it earlier. He had Giroud and Morata on the bench, and he decided not to change it till the last 10 minutes, I think it was. And it was too late by that point. You had Eden Hazard, who's the reason he's been so good has been because he's been not doing any of this doggy work. You need to get him in between the lines and allow him to turn in tight areas, which creates overlaps and overloads on the opposition and allows him to drive the ball, especially against a team that's going to press like they are. For Hazard to not be able to get the ball in those pockets of space and maybe have someone as almost like a little board to bounce off in Giroud or Morata was a mistake in my opinion. I understood what he was doing initially, but it totally backfired. And what's poor is Antonio Conte refused to change it. Final nomination for a bad week is for Stoke City. They've had a nice run of games. Paul Lambert turned up and he's done a nice bit of positive PR for me, but I think, to be honest, it's nonsense. 1 defeat in 6, that is decent, but the run of games that they were playing and the run of the games that they're about to go on, I'll put it on the screen right now, is not good. The reason this is a huge problem for Stoke City, and Stoke City fans, let me know your thoughts. Do you think you've seen enough improvement under Paul Lambert for you guys to do something? The reason I think it won't work out for you guys, and the reason I think you're struggling and probably one of the favourites alongside West Brom to go down, is because of the games that you've got to play now. You've got a tough run of games. After that, you've got quite a nice run of games, but that's right at the business end of the season, and that's when teams will be giving everything. Those are my 3 nominees for the bad. Let me know which one you want to choose. Do it right now. And on to ugly. And it's got pretty ugly for a few guys. Here are my 3 nominations this week. First of all, West Brom. What you've seen here is this team coming to the end of its cycle. And as much as Pardew wants to kind of lift the spirits and hope that he can get something more out of these guys, I'm not sure he can. You've got good professionals, but the quality in that team, and that team without Daniel Sturridge, is a huge problem. Alan Pardew's come in, they've won 3 games all season. I think they'll finish bottom of the league. Do you stick or twist with Pardew? I would stick with Pardew for this reason. The fact that he has taken teams up from the Championship before. I think he will get the best out of players in the Championship, and I think he could turn it around. I think it's too late for him to keep you guys up, but I don't think anyone else is going to do it, because I don't think you have the quality or almost the sort of effervescence of a young squad to do something. Second up, it's got to be Arsenal, hasn't it? 4 defeats on the trot. I've done another video, of course, about Arsene Wenger. We did a little documentary on the Ball Street channel, and I spoke about what Hugh and Robbie and those guys spoke about. If you want to check that out, here's a card. You can click on that and watch that. So I won't get into Arsene Wenger too much. It's obviously pretty ugly for him. But for Arsenal, that's a different situation. Let's look at the players here, and let's look at the way that they were playing as a team. Arsenal's form has fallen off a total cliff, but their away form has been horrific all season. I've never seen anything like it. They're not up for the battle, but they don't have the quality or the guile. They used to have the guile. And one person who has to take huge blame yesterday is Mesut Ozil for me. This is a guy who's now, he's claimed to be one of the leaders by the contract that he's been given. If he thinks he deserves that amount of money, And I hate talking about it being about money, but he needs more quality in terms of getting the ball to him. But what I saw yesterday was him hiding. He wasn't in the right areas of the pitch to impact the game. He's supposed to be playing off Aubameyang, but he kept drifting out to the right or to the left. And he needs to take charge. When there is these kind of moments of crisis, players have to step up. Xhaka is not good enough to be an Arsenal footballer. Is he a box-to-box midfielder? No. Is he a defensive midfielder who's going to allow someone like Jack Wilshere to move forward? No. Is he good enough on the ball? He has moments where he can hit a decent long field pass, but overall he is not good enough to be an Arsenal player in my opinion. He's supposed to be that Xavi Alonso, that guy who's going to get the ball to Ozil. So you've got one guy who hasn't got the passing range, it seems, or isn't quick enough in terms of playing the ball at one end of the pitch, and you've got Mesut Ozil at the other end of the pitch who was hiding. Aubameyang is a great footballer, I have no doubt about that, took his goal really, really well. Again, didn't run the channels really that much for them. I can understand why, because if he was running the channels, it would have been this long pass and you had a defensive situation there at Brighton where they would have been fine with it. And that comes down to Ozil needs to be that middleman to get the ball to then slot in a pass to Aubameyang. Didn't do that. It's looking really ugly for Arsenal on the pitch. Ugly, as I've said before, with Arsene Wenger off the pitch. When will they turn it around? That's the answer I want to get from you guys, is what is the number? So 4 games on the trot they've lost now. 5, 6, 7? What is the number that they'd have to get to for Arsene Wenger to walk away? And last but not least, when it comes to ugly this week, Sam Allardyce turning on kind of the players, kind of the fans, more so the players. He's done it a few weeks on the trot now. Everton, the initial good form, which was scrappy to say the least, but a huge relief for Everton fans, has now turned to really poor form. 19 defeats this season in the league. It's the most since 2005, 2006. And losing to Burnley away is a disappointing one. But I think, again, it's the quality of the football that you're going to get with Sam Allardyce. And this is one thing that I did say when he got the job, is that what you took with the security of knowing that Sam Allardyce will probably keep your team safe when Everton were in a situation where they couldn't find a win, they couldn't find a point, they couldn't find a goal. You had to take that. And with that, you obviously give that guy an opportunity. But Sam Allardyce's football, for a team that wants to go on, play with style, and has the quality of players to play with style, he's showing that he's struggling to make that fit. The recruitment has been awful at Everton, and so it's one of those where I think Sam Allardyce has always told it as he's seen it, and that's quite a clear, simple statement. It's a fair point. Managers get all the criticism, and often it's down to the players. The players have let him down then, players have let him down on previous weeks as well. But is it a dangerous thing for him to be calling out the players and not putting any responsibility on himself? Who would be a manager? I would love to know what people think is the right tactic if you're manager of any football club, but Everton in this situation right now. Does Sam Allardyce deflect, or is it refreshing that he's taking a bit of responsibility and going, look, let's call a spade a spade. These guys are not playing well enough at the moment. But the bottom line is this is Everton Football Club, and you've got the opportunity and the personnel in that team to be building something exciting. Everton fans, let me know your thoughts on Sam Allardyce. Is it getting to a point where you would prefer an Arsene Wenger? Rafa Benitez, I read somewhere as well. That would be crazy if he did. Let me know your thoughts. So that's the first good, bad and the ugly that I've ever done on the James Lawrence Alcott channel. If you are new, do me a favour, move your mouse a bit and hit that subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It's a new channel, so all the new subscribers I can get would be great. Going to get some of the Ball Street Network people on the channel very, very soon, and hopefully going to be doing some exciting interviews as well. So you will want to subscribe to see those guys, even if you don't want to see me. But if you like me as well, then that's great. Hit that like button as well, I'd really appreciate it. And let me know your thoughts. Vote right now and get your comments down below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.